Welcome back to the Hannahcast YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be reacting to and discussing the Iron Lung official trailer. But before we go on, I do want to mention that I have memberships open on the channel. For $4.99 a month, you can get things like monthly Q&A live streams, member-requested reviews on basically just any movie, old, new, whatever, as well as these badges and emojis, a bunch of other really cool perks as well. So consider becoming a channel member. I would really appreciate it. I've been very excited for this movie because, as you know, Markiplier is probably my favorite YouTuber. I mean, Unis Honest was like the best YouTube channel ever. Overall, I really do find his work ethic to be very inspiring in a way. Like, I love Adventures with Markiplier. I love Who Killed Markiplier. Like, he just manages to, like, with just a small team. I mean, granted, this is much bigger, but it's like, even when it was just, you know, A Date with Markiplier or Who Killed Markiplier, the crew was so small, actually being able to craft, like, really funny yet really good narratives and stuff. Like, all that is just so cool. And the fact that he's actually now making a movie based on the game Iron Lung is very exciting. And one thing that is also something important to point out, the SAG-AFTRA strikes are still going on. If I'm not mistaken, at this point, Markiplier has gotten like an interim agreement to continue working on Iron Lung, because he is part of SAG-AFTRA, and I'm assuming a lot of the actors in it are also from SAG-AFTRA. It's great to see that Markiplier is complying with what SAG-AFTRA is asking, and if he can do it, then why can't other studios? I mean, it's just simple. But regardless, here we go.
This is not an expedition.
Ooh.
It's an execution. When they put you in here, they don't want you to return. And even if you do...
Oh my God, what is that?
Their promises. What freedom waits for you?
Wait.
Dying ships in a sea of dead stars. If there is still hope, it lies beyond the veil. Hope in this void is as illusionary as the starlight. I will choose to breathe my last here, at the bottom of an ocean. Unseen.
Whoa! Whoa, oh my God. Alright, this is...
Get their execution.
This is... What in the world? Oh,
They will get my freedom.
I think that's him. I think that's Mark. Oh, wow. Does it say when it's going to be released? When's it coming out? Ah! It didn't say in the video. It didn't say in the video if it was going to be... Yep. Oh, but it does say coming soon to theaters. If I'm not mistaken, I think Mark actually said that this movie is holding the record, like or at least has broken the record for the most blood used in a movie ever, like the most fake blood ever used in a horror movie, which makes sense considering Iron Lung is literally about exploring a planet with a blood ocean, which is kind of nuts. It seems like we're not just going to be like in the submarine, you know, like in the game. Like, obviously we've seen the submarine. I mean, that was in the first trailer, but the submarine is not going to be the only place that we're in. We are actually going to be going outside of the submarine and exploring this world in greater detail. One thing I'm really excited for in this movie is, weirdly enough, the sound design, because the sound design in Iron Lung, the game, is so good and it's just so creepy. And I'm hoping, like, you know, we can get some of that in this film. Like, one thing I'm really liking right here is that it goes from this whole star space kind of look, and then, oh wait, it's not actually the stars, it's the reflection of the blood ocean or something. God, it's just like so crazy. Obviously with this much blood, it's gonna be like very, very, very R-rated. One thing I gotta wonder is Markiplier the one talking here? Because his voice is significantly higher than it usually is. I think one thing that's also worth noting in this is that this is probably going to be a very different kind of narrative that the game has. Because again, the game is pretty straightforward. You go in the submarine and you sort of explore it. However, this one, obviously, there's not really a whole lot to go off of from the game. So, and that has been a criticism that many people have over Iron Lung. A lot of people say that there's nothing really happens in the game, and that a lot of it is mainly just, you know, just you're in the submarine and you're just kind of watching it. And it's just like, all right, like, what do we do here? Again, I find the lore and all that stuff very interesting, in my opinion. I find that all very fascinating. And I'm very sure Mark knows that, you know, when making a movie out of this, you have to adapt it. Like, you have to make things different so that it works as a film. And if I'm gonna be honest, I am more excited for this film than I am with Five Nights at Freddy's, because obviously, yeah, not everything looks perfect in this. Like, you know, the camera is kind of strange. I'm not exactly, you know, sure how the actual filmmaking is going to work here, at least in terms of the cinematography. Or again, like I said, what kind of camera they're actually using. Like, I'm willing to let Markiplier off with something like that. But again, this is mainly just like one shot, or I guess technically, I mean, obviously it's not one shot, but it's like, you know, it's one scene in a trailer, in this trailer, and there was that submarine scene in the first trailer. But again, it's like, this is clearly a very micro budget movie, whereas with Five Nights at Freddy's is literally based off of a very popular video game IP, and it's being made by Blumhouse, a very capable studio of pulling off something like this. I am more critical of something like Five Nights at Freddy's than I am with, you know, Markiplier's Iron Lung, because Markiplier, like I said, this is clearly a very, very independent production, and Five Nights at Freddy's is, like, based on a very big video game IP done by a pretty big studio that has made a lot of really good-looking films in the past, like Get Out, like Whiplash. Regardless, I'm very excited for this movie, and now I pass the question off to you. What do you think of the trailer for Iron Lung? Do you think it looks any good? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you so much for watching. And like I said before, make sure you check out my channel members page for $4.99 a month. You can get member-requested reviews, live chats, these badges, emojis, and some other perks as well. And consider hitting that subscribe button, because if you don't, you just might hurt Markiplier's feelings.